Have you ever noticed this contradiction? We live in an age of health obsession. We wear smartwatches that count every step, we have gyms on every corner, we follow fitness influencers, and yet, when you ask the average person over 50 how they actually feel, the answer is almost always the same. My back hurts, my knees ache, and my mind just doesn't feel as sharp as it used to. Somewhere along the way, we quietly accepted a lie. We accepted that stiffness, pain, and decline are simply the price of getting older. As if there is a switch at 50 or 60 that turns off energy, mobility, and clarity. But if you look at the blue zones of the world, especially the long-living communities in Japan, that story falls apart. You see men and women in their 80s and 90s walking, gardening, laughing, and moving with a freedom that many 50-year-olds in the West no longer have. They do not just survive, they truly live. And here is what might surprise you the most. They are not spending hours in the gym. They are not running marathons. They are not punishing their bodies with extreme workouts. Instead, they have built their lives around something far more gentle and sustainable: micro-movements. Micro-movements are tiny, almost invisible habits woven into daily life. They keep the joints lubricated, the muscles awake, the fascia hydrated, and the nervous system calm and sharp. They work quietly in the background like a maintenance crew for your body. If you feel intimidated by the idea of starting to exercise, this is good news. You do not need a complete life overhaul to start aging better. You just need to interrupt the cycle of stiffness with a few intelligent movements, repeated consistently. In this video, we are going to break down 6 specific micro-movements inspired by these long-living cultures. Think of them as a reset button for your biological age. You can do them at home in your pajamas in under 15 minutes a day. And as you listen, I invite you to do one thing. Don't just watch. Choose one habit and start today. Вот это сиденье никогда не выбирай в самолете. Бортпроводник объясняет почему. For most of us, walking is just transportation. We walk to get somewhere. We rush. We lean forward as if our bodies are trying to outrun our lives. Our shoulders tighten, our jaw clenches, and our feet slam into the ground. This is not real walking. This is controlled falling. Controlled falling is hard on your joints, it overloads your knees and hips, and it keeps your body in a low-grade stress response. Cortisol stays elevated, breathing stays shallow, and your nervous system never fully relaxes. In Japanese longevity culture, walking is treated differently. It is not just a way to move the body, it is a way to organize the nervous system. It is slow, deliberate, and mindful. Here is how to practice the mindful stroll. The next time you walk, cut your usual speed in half. Gently lift your foot, place the heel down, roll through the arch, and then push off through the toes. Feel every part of the step. Imagine the muscles in your feet and calves acting like a second heart, pumping blood and lymph fluid back up toward your core. Now add the breath. Inhale for 2 steps, exhale for 4. No force, no strain, just rhythm. You are not exercising. You are sending a message to your brain. I am safe. I am present. I am here. Over time, this simple practice can lower inflammation, reduce anxiety, and help your mind start the day clear instead of rushed. For many people over 50 or 60, this will be the easiest movement to begin with. There is no special clothing, no equipment, no learning curve. You simply take something you already do every day, walking, and upgrade its quality. Try 10 minutes of this tomorrow morning. No phone, no distractions. One of the quiet enemies of healthy aging, the chair. Chairs are not evil, but decades of chair sitting change the body. Hips become tight. Ankles lose mobility. The lower back compresses. We slowly lose the natural resting posture our bodies were designed for, the deep squat. In parts of Japan and other traditional cultures, you still see older adults resting in a deep squat while gardening, cooking, or talking with neighbors. To them, this position is not a workout. It is simply another way to rest. The deep rest squat decompresses the lower spine, opens the hips, stretches the ankles, and strengthens the muscles of the pelvic floor and core. It is one of the most complete anti-aging positions you can practice. If you have not squatted in years, do not drop to the floor and try to stay there. Start with support. Stand near a doorframe, a sturdy table, or a sink. Hold on with your hands and slowly lower your body down as if you are going to sit on an invisible stool. Go only as low as feels safe. If your heels start lifting, you can place a folded towel or a book under them. Breathe slowly. Relax your jaw. Let your hips sink. At first, you might only manage 10 or 15 seconds. That is perfectly fine. The goal is not to perform endless repetitions. The goal is time under tension. Aim for a total of 1 minute a day in this position, broken into small chunks if needed. If you have a history of knee replacements, hip surgery, or significant joint pain, talk to a professional first and modify the depth. Even a half squat with support can start to wake up forgotten muscles and send better signals to your brain. Think of it as sending a clear message to your body. We still need this range of motion. Do not shut it down. If you visit a regular doctor, they might measure your blood pressure, your weight, maybe your cholesterol. But if you visit a longevity expert, there is another test they often care about just as much: your ability to balance. Standing on one leg for even 10 seconds demands a lot from your brain. Your eyes, your inner ear, the small muscles around your ankles and hips, all of them must talk to each other in real time. As we age, this communication can become slower and less precise. That is why so many older adults fall even on flat ground. But the good news is that balance is highly trainable. You do not need special equipment, you just need a toothbrush. Here is the habit. When you brush your teeth in the morning, stand on your left leg. In the evening, stand on your right leg. Keep a finger near the sink or wall for safety if you need it, especially at first. If you wobble, do not get frustrated. That wobble is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that your nervous system is working, recalibrating, and building new neural pathways. Every correction your body makes is like a tiny rep for your balance brain. You can turn this into a small game. Time yourself. Maybe today you can only balance for 5 seconds without grabbing the counter. In a few weeks, it might be 10, then 20. You now have a visible, measurable sign that your nervous system is becoming more resilient. Over time, you can add gentle challenges. Turn your head slightly, close one eye, or try it without holding on. But always prioritize safety. The goal is to stimulate your system, not scare it. Balance is more than a party trick. It is a powerful predictor of independence. The longer you can maintain it, the longer you can trust your body to move you safely through the world. There is one movement pattern that quietly predicts whether someone can live independently or will need constant help: the ability to get down to the floor and back up again. In many Japanese homes, life still happens close to the ground. People sit on cushions, sleep on futons, and gather around low tables. As a result, older adults might move from standing to the floor and back up dozens of times a day without thinking about it. Each of those transitions is a full-body movement. It requires leg strength, hip mobility, core stability, and coordination. When we lose this ability, everything becomes more dangerous, from picking something up off the floor to recovering from a small stumble. Here is how you can turn this into a daily micro-practice. Once a day, choose an activity you normally do in a chair: watching TV, scrolling on your phone, folding laundry, and do it sitting on the floor instead. From standing, slowly lower yourself down. Use a chair, a table, or your hands on your thighs for support if necessary. Then, when you are done, practice standing up again. Maybe at first you will push off with both hands. Over time, challenge yourself to use just one hand or to use only your legs. If fear of falling has made you avoid the floor entirely, think of this as exposure therapy in a controlled environment. Put a yoga mat or a thick rug down. Move slowly. Breathe. The goal is to remind your brain that the floor is not a dangerous place. It is simply another surface you can move on. There is a well-known concept, sometimes called the sit-to-stand test, that links this ability to longevity. But you do not need a formal test. What matters is that you keep this movement pattern alive. The day you can no longer get up from the floor is often the day your world becomes much smaller. So treat the floor not as an enemy, but as a training partner. Finally, let's talk about posture. Many people think that the hunched, rounded spine we associate with aging is inevitable. But in many long-living cultures, you still see older adults with surprisingly upright posture and open chests. The secret is mobility in the thoracic spine, the middle part of your back, where your ribs attach. When this area becomes stiff, the body compensates by locking into a forward hunch. The key is to keep it gently moving. One simple way to do this is with a movement I like to call the spinal ring. You can do it with a towel, a scarf, or even just your empty hands. Stand tall with your feet hip-width apart. Hold the towel in front of you with both hands, arms straight but relaxed, and gently pull outward so the towel is taut. Now, keeping your hips facing forward, slowly twist your upper body to the right as far as is comfortable. Pause, breathe, and then twist to the left. Move with control, not momentum. Imagine your spine as a soft, wet cloth, and you are gently wringing out stiffness and tension. As you twist, your rib cage opens, your lungs get more space, and blood flow increases to the tiny muscles along your spine. If you spend hours every day at a desk, you can even do a lighter version of this sitting on a chair. Sit tall at the edge of the seat, cross your arms or hold the sides of the chair and rotate gently side to side. Small, frequent twists are better than one intense stretching session once a month. 2 or 3 minutes of this each day can help counteract hours of sitting and screen time. Over weeks and months, it can be the difference between a spine that folds forward and a spine that stays proud and open. Here is the most important thing to remember. You do not need to move to Japan to age like the Japanese. You do not need a new gym membership, expensive equipment, or a perfect routine. What you need is a new philosophy. Instead of trying to fight aging with brutal, unsustainable efforts, learn to cooperate with your body through small, daily acts of care. Micro-movements might look insignificant in the moment, but over months and years they quietly reshape your future. You do not have to start with all 6. Pick one. Maybe the morning shake, to wake your body gently. Maybe the flamingo balance, to protect your brain and your stability. Maybe the floor transition, to protect your independence. Whatever you choose, stay consistent, because aging is not defined by what you do once a year at a doctor's appointment or once a month at the gym. It is defined by what you do most days, almost without thinking. Think of these micro-movements as daily votes for the kind of future you want. Every mindful step, every gentle shake, every moment spent reclaiming your balance is a signal to your body. We are not done yet. We are still moving forward, so start today. Take a mindful step. Do a 60-second shake. Sit a little lower. Stand a little taller. Your future self is already watching you from 10, 20, even 30 years ahead, and they are hoping you say yes. This video is not medical advice. It is an invitation to reconnect with your own body, gently and curiously. Listen to it, respect its limits, and give it the daily movement it was always designed for. Start moving, start living.